guys, hi. This video is super important today. Scraps is eating things off my table. This video is super important today because one, I'm going to be sharing it on my personal Facebook for the first time. I said that in my last one, but it was really just not my best because I was feeling really sick, so I never shared it. But if you want to go watch it, it'll be with my other ones, so yeah. No, but this is going to be a little bit more serious, but a very good story. It's going to be about my little brother and how he made a really big achievement. So here you go. So I want to kind of start off by explaining, when you have somebody in your family that is autistic, sometimes it just feels like there is no hope. It feels like every day is just hard, and, severe autism, involves a lot of really gross and hard stuff, like just being real. This is real talk here. Sometimes it involves major meltdowns where hair gets ripped out. Sometimes it involves them hurting themselves. Sometimes it involves sensory, where they want to shove really gross stuff on the wall. And I'm not making fun of that in any way, but when you have somebody that is autistic in your family, that is just the reality of what you have to deal with. And sometimes it can just feel really hopeless, and I've been through that. I've felt hopeless. I can remember going out and just screaming at God because I didn't know who else to scream at, that I couldn't take it anymore, and I was done. And, I don't even know. At 8 years old, I had those conversations. So it is very real, and it is very hard. But I have a story that I hope will give you guys out there, if you have an autistic sibling or an autistic child, or if you know somebody with autism that you just really care about. And I'm talking severe. I'm not talking, the lower high functioning end of the spectrum. I'm talking, can't talk, has tantrums all the time, stuff like that. I hope that this will inspire you to look for those moments in your life that are really special with this person, because so many people with autism are just beautiful people, and they just don't know how to show that in the same way that, I would, and that, makes it really hard. And I also do want to stress that I'm going to talk about a lot of my feelings. The person with autism struggles way more than I did. My little brother had way more struggles than I did, and sometimes I forgot to realize that, and that was not very fair to him. They are stuck in a world where they can't even really speak the same language as people in their family can, and sometimes I would discredit how hard that was, but, I'm going to be talking about a lot of my old emotions, so just kind of understand that. But this is a really great story, and I really hope that it brings some inspiration and some hope. If you have a son or a daughter or a sibling with autism, please just wait for those moments to come, and they will make every day worth it. So when I was growing up, I felt very deprived because of my brother's autism. I didn't really get to have friends over the same way, my friends could have me over. As I said in my old video, sometimes it felt like people would come over to help, and really they were just kind of curious about the way that we lived, and stuff wasn't easy, the house wasn't clean all the time, but that's just the reality of it. If you have a severely autistic person in your family, it's just the reality of it. Sometimes you're so exhausted at night that stuff doesn't get done, and that's just how it is. I know, our biggest struggle with Scotty was keeping him. He had pica, so he always wanted to be eating. That's just a disorder where you always want something in your mouth, which sometimes comes with autism, and we would have to keep him out of the kitchen because he would go and get whatever. And a lot of the times we had to keep food in the bathroom pantry, like snack food, just so, we could give it to him in fair rations because he would eat so much. And it was just there was a lot of things that were just really hard. Sorry, I'm still a little sick. A lot of people are out there dealing with this. I was one of them. Please don't, if you feel alone, I hope this video helps, because I get it. There are struggles that just don't seem very real, but they are real. And you have every right to be upset, but also remember they are struggling too. Anyway, so one of the things that I didn't dread this, I don't want to say I dreaded it, but I felt like I was going to be deprived of special moments with my little brother on my wedding day. And sometimes I doubt how amazing this kid is, and you'll understand why in a second. So when my now husband proposed to me, I was so excited, but as the days kind of started to go, I started to lose sleep because I wanted this so bad, and maybe that was selfish, and maybe that was unfair of me, but I wanted my little brother to be in my wedding. And so I started really thinking about it and trying to just find a way that it would be easy for him. And I ended up speaking with, I think my parents about it, and they suggested maybe having an aide help him down the aisle. And I was like, okay, we can discuss that. So I ended up reaching out to my friend Matt Dwyer. Hi, Matt, who is really great, and was like, yeah, I'd love to help Scotty down the aisle. And then we got another friend who wasn't necessarily an aide for Scotty, but I think he'd had experience with autistic people before, and he's just this really big guy, so, you know, if Scotty got scared, he could just escort him out really quickly if needed. And this was like a go, and I started to feel so nervous, and even like I was being mean. Like, was it very fair of me to expect this of my brother? And so the day of the rehearsal came, and, you know, I'm a bride. I'm already so stressed out about everything. Like, that is a story for another day. But I was so stressed, so we planned out the first 20 minutes of the rehearsal to just be for Scotty to run through his part one time. My little brother's name is Scotty, everyone. And so I had we had a really big wedding party too, plus a lot of our family was in town. So I scattered everyone around the pews just so he would kind of see what it might be like tomorrow when all of the guests were there. And Scraps was in the wedding too. It's not all about him, so he's getting upset. Where was I? Yeah, so I was really stressed out the morning of my wedding. Like, things just weren't going perfectly, and I was already so stressed out. So we get to the church, and we're a little bit late. Anyway, so I get there, and they're like, Scotty's already here, like, we gotta go. So I saw him outside of, like, the vehicle that he'd been brought in, and I walked up to him, and he looked at me in my wedding dress and smiled and gave me a kiss. And just for that moment, it was like none of the autism mattered. None of the struggles mattered because he gave me that. It was as if he had taken every ounce of the symptoms that autism cause that are hard, and he just put them away for that day. And then the procession started, and he walked down the aisle, and, you know, I've seen pictures. He didn't really smile, but he did a great job. He just walked down the aisle as if, you know, it was the easiest thing in the world, and I'm just so grateful for that moment. Scotty, if you ever see this, that was the most amazing wedding gift anyone could have ever given me, was just that special moment of you kissing me and smiling. One of those moments that I thought I would miss out on was my little brother telling me that I was beautiful and he was proud of me. And I had that without words. I don't know how else to explain it. I'm getting a little emotional here. But I just wanted to share that story because Scotty, he did that for me, and it was a blessing, and I will forever remember that. And I don't want this to come out wrong, but I don't need anything else. Like, if he gets better and is able to speak one day, that would be great, but he doesn't need to do that for me. He can do it for himself, if that makes sense. I would want that, but, like, you know, I am good. I'm good. He did everything he ever needed to do for me in that one moment. I love him so much, and he is such a strong champion. He has come past so many obstacles that autism has laid in front of him, and he's just, you know, every day he improves, and I'm just so proud of him. So I hope if you see this, you know that those moments are what matters, and I really hope that this helped you just feel a little bit of hope if you have an autistic child and you feel like, you know, you'll never get those moments that are normal. I don't like using that word normal, but I just don't know another word to use at the moment. So anyway, that was my video. I know it was kind of more to the basic, to the point, and I'll have more fun stories for you guys next week. Thank you to all my friends who may have watched this. I love you guys. Please like and subscribe, just because I'm really enjoying doing this and I want to continue to be able to do it. And follow Scraps on Instagram for lots of cute Dachshund earthquake pictures, apparently. And I will see you guys next week with the story of how I met my husband, and he might even show up. We'll see.